coming up on the end, well, yeah, the end of the 2 month mark. 2 months into the year. Have you been grinding? Have you been freaking grinding? I don't really like thinking about it on like a year by year basis, like, New Year's resolution style or whatnot. But it is kind of, I could definitely see how it could be a little bit of a wake up call to somebody when they see an Instagram post or a TikTok edit, and it's like there's only 6 months left of 2023. Are you grind or something hype? But I mean, it's fucking true. Even though I don't like that stuff, it is still fucking true. And so I'm sure people. It sucks, man. People are out there. They're out there, and they're on the cusp of wanting to get some gains, but something's just stopping them. Something is just fucking stopping them. And I tell you what, it's probably not external. Nobody sits outside of a gym and protests. That's one thing that's nice about the gym. It's not a victim of like animal rights activists where they line up in front of the milk section of or the dairy market at a grocery store or block a street. Luckily, gyms have not been affected by such torment. So the only thing really stopping you is, oh man, it's just even saying it out loud, it kind of sucks. Because this is what I would imagine someone would sort of think in their mind if they're like getting a little bit excited about going to the gym. Like, oh yeah, okay. Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, some of my buddies like lifting. They're always talking about it. Yeah, maybe. Well, but, and then another sentence or two of just like downer BS. Ugh, gross. Come on. If that's your deal, fuck, man. You don't have to put on a stringer and short shorts and try to get so sweaty that it looks like you're oiled up. And just put on some baggy sweats, a big ass hoodie, and look up a basic workout. This is one thing which I really don't love about kind of the current state of sort of workout videos in a way. And I don't mean just like videos of people like recording their workout and whatever, but people kind of preaching like the right way to do it, which in a lot of cases a lot of those people are right as long as they're not stupid. But it kind of puts a non-existent, or what I would assume was a non-existent pressure on people to have to do it the perfect way. And now if somebody doesn't think they're like, oh, I'm not ready to go lift yet, I don't know all the form, I don't even want to do it. Dude, who gives a fuck, man? And you don't have to get started like a baller anyway. Like, you don't have to have a fucking workout split and jump straight into a like bodybuilding or a powerlifting routine or whatever your end goal is. When I was in high school, before I actually started going to the gym on a consistent basis, I had a pair of 30-pound dumbbells, which I had taken from the basement, because we had a dumbbell set down there. It wasn't like a gym, it was just there was a set of dumbbells like amongst all the trash and shit. So I took a pair of the 30s and put it up in my room, and in between like playing around on my computer or whatever, I would just start doing curls. Like, this is never gotten a pump before, never actually like taken pre-workout, nothing. This is just a pair of 30s next to my fucking desk on the carpeted floor, and then there was a mirror too. So as I'm doing the curls, I can fucking look at myself in the mirror. Oh my goodness. Little did I know, 100, I must have been 160, maybe little 170-pound Sam was gonna approach 270 in only a matter of years. Crazy. But I haven't even talked about the lift for today. Back. BACK. Lats, traps, teres major, scapular retraction. Ugh. I know all these words, don't worry. I I don't diss on science-based lifting because I'm like, oh, shut up, dork. Ugh. I know the words, I know the terminology, but as much as I think it's cool to, well, okay, that's not true. That's not true. There is some technique to back training about like really opening up your shoulder blades, getting a really good stretch, and then fully contracting them. Okay, I'm just being a little bit of a hater for no reason right there. But back, as even though it is kind of complicated, because for one muscle group you do have to do a pretty wide variety of movements, right? Pull downs, pull overs, rows, and there's so many different variations of each that there's a lot of shit that can be done with back. But as long as you pick a few that you really like and that you can really feel, I think you're good. Sometimes people will ask me like, what should I do for lats? And I'm like, well, I don't know, lat pull downs. Which I said I should have extrapolated. All I said was lat pull downs. I should have actually said, well, lat pull downs, but make sure you use a handle which you can really feel your lats when you do them on. For me, I like a straight bar handle, but I've been liking neutral grip lat pull downs as of late. Something about them just lets me really squeeze my lats more in a more isolated manner than everything else. Because when I do straight bar pull downs, especially when I get really heavy, I feel like I get a little bit of mid back. I can feel my forearms are kind of coming into play a little bit too. But with some handles, it just lets me feel my lats more. So with any pull down and with any row and with any pullover, maybe just pick the ones which you just, with the ones that just feel the best for you. Go heavy, do some hard sets, don't leave too much in the tank, and I'd say eat some protein and expect some results. It's as complicated as people can make it, which we do really make this shit seem kind of complicated. If you go to the gym and you do some hard sets and then you leave, that's a good workout. To an extent, anything else could kind of just be considered BS, Don't, maybe not total BS, but you get what I'm saying. If you go hard, I think you can expect some gains. So let's park this thing, set up, and 9:20 on a Tuesday, it's gotta, I was about to say it's gotta be dead, but honestly, my track record for guessing how busy the school gym is gonna be has been very bad. So if my immediate instinct was to think that it's gonna be dead, then I guess it's probably gonna be packed. So let's just hope not everyone is using all the back equipment. Let's get in there and find out. Interestingly enough, new gym upgrade. They're not mag grips, but they're basically mag grips. I was about to try to do the whole stack, but as I was warming up and I got to like 250, I could tell I was starting to use a lot of biceps. And I don't know if well, this is kind of a continuation of a rant that I went on a few days ago. But if I'm doing a movement that's like targeting a specific muscle, of course I'm aiming for mid, low back, lats. If I start feeling my biceps firing and doing a lot of work, I'm kind of defeating the purpose, I feel like bodybuilding training, not every set, but each workout, the whole point is kind of, your ability to isolate whatever you're hitting. So I'm going to be a bit lighter and start with a controlled, I might even hold it at the bottom for a second or two when I'm strong. You get the idea. Oh yeah. One more, a little heavier. Oh my God. Okay. Fine. Let's move on. So I went over to warm up for bent over barbell rows, but by the time I got to, well, by the time I did one set of one plate and then one set of two plates, but I could kind of feel that the two plates was like starting to twinge my lower left side of my back. So none of that. But this chest supported row should do very nicely. The stack isn't insanely heavy, so I'll make sure to really hold it and squeeze it, at least in the beginning of the set when I'm fresh and strong. Okay. Oh my God. One more. Okay. I'll take a few seconds to breathe, make it a rest pause. Okay. Oh my God. Whew. Out of all the rows that I do, most of the ones where it's like this, I get such a deep fucking stretch. Like, you know what? I lied. One more. One stinking more here. Give it a second. Oh my God. Okay. Oh, now that's enough of that. Woo. You know, part of the reason I fucking even did those little rest pauses in between these sets. Now I love it, but all the chest supported stuff, fuck man, it's hard to fucking breathe. By the time I get to rep 12, I'm like a little bit out of breath. Usually with these machines, I like to sort of brace myself here and do one arm at a time. But if you'll notice, this is the bottom of the rep with both arms, but there's so much slack in the machine. If I do one, it's not enough of a stretch. But let's move on to something else. Keep the shit rolling. Back to pull downs. This time, straight bar. Oh my God. One more. Okay. Well, let's make that a drum set. Okay. Okay. I'm not exactly sure what's next, but maybe 3 more sets or something. I'm feeling pretty fucking pumped already, so definitely on the right course. Okay, mind you, this is like 6 sets deep into the lift, but I'm gonna do some pullovers. Only problem is the pullover stack is too light, so I'm gonna pre-exhaust with pull-ups, or at least as close as I can get to a pull-up with how fatigued my lats are right now. But maybe, as many as I can do here, and then I'm gonna flip the camera around, jump onto the pullover. Oh. Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my god. Okay. Not really feeling pullovers today. Let's go do a little bit of a row variation. And I think that'll be it. This is a good little superset, but I don't really want to do it again. Just a little bit of jerry rigging, but bench here, 45-ish degree incline, and then these 2 extra long D handles will kind of let me do like a half pull down, half row. Either way, I'm gonna get a full fucking back pump, or at least the finishing touches on this back pump. So after 2 sets of these, I think I'm ready to post down. Oh my god. Oh. One more. Okay. All right. Let's pose down. All done. Solid back day. I know it's going to be a solid ass pump too. Okay, so how many sets was that? I can't remember. 7? 8? 2 sets of pull downs. 2 sets of machine rows. 2 sets of pull downs again. Pull over. Maybe 9? Whatever. Whether it's 6, 9, 12, anywhere kind of around that range. As long as at the end of the workout, I do feel like I did something. I feel fatigued. I feel pumped. I think that's about right. No, there is no secret number. There is no fucking special formula. Right? If you do a good lift, you'll know it. Oh, goodness. Okay. So, you tell me how pumped the back is looking. The front's already looking pumped. This is fucking great. Oh my goodness. Oh, that is not a bad vacuum for being fucking bulked up. Oh, all right. The only 4 poses there are for back, fucking front and back, double bind, lat spread. All right, so let's, may as well get a little most muscular, just for meathead's sake. My goodness. So before I drank the pre-workout, I just hopped on the scale for fun. So 260, but midday, I can't be 260, man. Midday, middle of my full fucking day of eating and everything, I gotta be up in that 265 range with a fucking full belly. Like, honestly, the more often I can walk around like feeling like my stomach is fucking distended from how much food I have in it, the fucking better. But this bulk is progressing well, even though I have been easing up on the calories a little bit slower than normal. But actually, I don't even think even though is the right word. I think this is just a fucking good ass bulk. For all the bulks I've done before this one, the process of, my calorie intake has always been 0 to 100 right away. Like jump straight to 5,000, 6,000 calories. And then after 2 months, I have a massive weight spike, but then I hit a fucking wall and I just can't keep fucking growing because I can't eat enough food. My body has kind of reached a point where it can deal with 5,000 calories, take it in, push it out, and not put too much mass on in between because it's just what I'm used to. So at this bulk, I've gradually increased the food so that, once I'm used to 3,500 and I'm not growing anymore, 4,000. Once I'm used to 4,000, up and up. And honestly, I've tried doing it that way before, like on my last few bulks, but I get ahead of myself and I start eating too much right away. So as long as this keeps up, unbridled mass to come. I got fucking hiccups. But I'm gonna chat a little, then get in the car. So let's roll. Okay, so this is not immediately post lift. This is actually like 30 minutes later. I didn't forget, but I did know I had to stop at Kroger after I lifted, but I kind of lost track of time. So, got a couple of steaks. I got a little packet of salmon sushi. Maybe not, what is it now? Sashimi, because it's just cut up salmon over some like sliced carrots. I don't necessarily, my thought process was not, okay, I need some good omega-3s from this salmon. It was more like, okay, this is a treat. I just like eating this. But then I also got a bunch of fucking other, other foods which must not be named. A bunch of sweets and treats and whatever else. But yeah, definitely glad I got that. My fridge is looking a little sparse, so this will definitely help put some more meat on my bones. So. I wanted to go to a different gym. I was kind of envisioning going to a gym that's more like 30, 40 minutes away from here, which, today was a pretty good back day. I don't think I lost anything from going here instead of there, but they do have much more equipment. And not even that, but they have a lot of very cool row machines, which I do like. So that's one reason why I've kind of been, well, actually, I'm going to have to go to that gym for maybe 2 lifts out of the 4 that I do. I've got legs, chest, back, and arms. Shoulders get thrown in on occasion. But I've got to go to that gym for chest because that's the only gym with really heavy dumbbells, you know, the 150s just aren't cutting it anymore. But then also on back days, they just have cooler equipment, man. So I kind of want to use some of those fancy hammer strength rows and, you know, T-bar rows and fuck. I mean, they've got at least 10 different row machines of all sorts of, you know, new, old school variations, whatever else. I'm not saying it's absolutely necessary, and honestly, I almost speak against it, where I'm like, if your gym is extra fancy, you're spoiled. You know, just you can get a pretty big build with just the basics. But, you know, once you've kind of reached a point where you're a relatively uh, you're a relatively seasoned lifter and you do know what you're doing, you are going to notice a difference between, you know, how machines feel. Because I don't think I really noticed this so much as a beginner, but now, you know, I'll jump onto Smith machine or something, or, you know, inclined barbell or curls of some variety, or push downs with some kind of handle, and now I kind of have an extra little bit of a sense of, like, even as I'm warming up, not even doing a real working set, but I kind of have this feeling like, I don't really like this. But not even just like I don't like it, but like I don't like it because of the way it feels. Like I feel like I could get a better contraction and just have a better set doing, like, you know, something else. And usually what happens is whatever movement I know is going to feel good just sort of pops up in my mind. Like if I do a set of rope pushdowns, or if I do a little feeler rep with the rope, I'm like, okay, I don't really like this. Immediately, probably the straight bar is going to pop up, or a machine dip, or maybe even skull crushers, you know. And it's not like when that thought happens, I'm like reasoning it, like, okay, I want a longer stretch on the long head of my tricep, or I want to be able to load up the stretch position more with a machine dip. You know, I'm not really thinking about it that way. It's almost like after doing so many lifts and so many different movements and knowing how they feel, you just get a sense of like, okay, this is going to be good. I don't really want to do this. And I feel like the more you get into that, the more you might be pickier with your machines, but not picky for no reason. You know, like, I do see a lot of people set up, like, and I'm kind of hypocritical for this because I just did it, where I did like the incline bench with, like, I had to put a couple of plates as spacers so that the bench wouldn't slide towards the machine as I was doing those D handle rows. Usually when I see fancy setups like that, I'm like, come on, just do a fucking pull down or something. But I do like them sometimes, but I do notice sometimes people set stuff up which they just don't need to. Just unnecessarily complicated. Where it's like, what's the point of doing a real, like a 3-stage curl when you'll probably get better activation and you'll just, you know, fatigue them more by doing a heavy alternating dumbbell curl. You know, so maybe in a way I'm kind of conflicted, because I like the specialization of using like a really specific machine if I want a really specific feeling, but also I'm like, oh, why do you need that machine? Just do a cable row. It's kind of I feel like I'm kind of in an interstitial state between like being really, I mean, I guess just picky and not picky. So I think that's the end of that little rant. But yeah, solid ass back day. I was almost considering throwing in some rear delts at the end of it, but part of the reason why I didn't was just because I had to fucking roll. So side delts and rear delts, definitely not a weak point, but I do want to hit them every so often just for some activation, if nothing else. But it's difficult, I'll say this, it's definitely difficult to have side and rear delts that are too big. Rear delts especially. Side delts, you can definitely see it. But rear delts, you're never going to go wrong throwing rear delts into your fucking lift. And they don't even take too much. Like, sometimes I do bent over dumbbell laterals where, you know, I bend over, I got like the 65s, I'm doing like rear delt flies. But you don't even have to do anything that crazy. Sometimes what I do for rear delts is I'll just sit on the like the cable stack, have it at maybe eye level, maybe Sometimes I'll put it at eye level when I'm like seated on a bench, just if I'm lazy. And then with a single D handle, just do one arm face pulls. Super light too. I'm talking like, maybe 20 pounds on the stack, and just really focusing on squeezing my rear delt and nothing else. Like I like doing really heavy face pulls with the stack, or trying to throw the stack around on a reverse pec deck. But for every crazy heavy set, I do like doing some lighter squeezing sets too. It's usually kind of a little bit of a balance. But with shoulders, at least for me, it's never been a problem to just get a pump and that's the end of it. So there will be shoulder days every so often, but if you're unaware, I still get this comment sometimes: where's the shoulder workout? They're just fucking big enough, man. When I do a side tricep, my shoulders are overpowering my arms. When I do a fucking side chest or a back double bicep, their diameter, if you can kind of imagine it like that, like how round my shoulder is, it's just bigger than my arms are. Like bicep to tricep is not as big as top of the front delt to top of the rear delt, and I kind of want to balance those out. You can definitely have arms too big, but I think for the most part, if they're like 1-to-1 ish, that's about the sweet spot. If anything, maybe arms a touch bigger than the shoulders is probably what I'm aiming for. So maybe I should stop doing shoulders altogether, just let my arms catch up. Something to think about. But either way, cardio in the morning, arms tomorrow in the evening. I'm not exactly sure where I'll go. I'll probably just end up going here, honestly. There's nothing special about, or there's no piece of equipment around me that's so special that I want to drive to a gym that's kind of far away. If I've got cables, honestly, I'm perfectly satisfied with an arm day with just cables and dumbbells. Now, I do like doing other shit too, but I've had workouts, and I've not even just workouts, I've had many workouts where all I did was triceps was just heavy pushdowns with, the same fucking handle for every set, like 8 sets of just super heavy straight bar pushdowns, followed by, however many sets of alternating dumbbell curls. It's, I do like when I can do a lift that simple, just because it kind of takes a lot of thought out of the equation. All you get to do is sit there. You don't have to go anywhere. Just camp out, do your sets, and before you know it, your fucking sleeves blew off, hit you in the eye, but you do have a freaky pump underneath. So I think that's all I got. I know you're not doing cardio, and I hope you feel bad about it. That'll be my ending statement. So I'll see you next time.